On July 15, 1987, Carlina Renee White was born in the Harlem Hospital Center in New York City. When she was 19 days old, she had a high fever, so her parents, Joy White and Carl Tyson, took her to the hospital again. A woman dressed as a nurse helped the parents when they arrived at the hospital. Unbeknownst to the parents, this woman was not a hospital employee. In the early morning hours, Carlina was taken from the hospital by this woman. The hospital's video surveillance wasn't working at the time, so the only people I could really give a description of the woman was her parents. This was the first baby abducted from a New York hospital. Flyers with Carlina's face were distributed nationwide. Unfortunately, they had no success in finding her. Carlina's parents filed a $100 million suit against the hospital and obtained a $750,000 settlement. The woman that took Carlina is Anugheta Ann Petway. She raised Carlina as Nedra Nettie Nance in Connecticut. Carlina first suspected that Ann might not be a real mother when Ann could not provide a birth certificate. In 2005, when Carlina fell pregnant and asked again, Ann provided her with a false certificate. The officials noticed it was forged, however. Carlina then confronted Ann. Ann confessed then that she was not Carlina's real mother. She lied, however, by telling Carlina that she was abandoned by a drug addict. This caused her to not immediately go look for her real parents. When she was 23 years old, she did start looking on websites for missing people, such as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. There she found a picture of the kidnapped Carlina and noticed that it's similar to the baby pictures she had of herself as Nedra and those of her daughter Zephany. She used a hotline to finally get into contact with her birth family. DNA would prove in 2011 that she is indeed the missing Carlina White. Ann Petway is currently serving a 12-year prison sentence in a federal correctional institution in Aliceville, Alabama for the abduction. Carlina now goes by the name Nettie, since it is the name she gave herself. She does have a relationship with her biological parents, and they are making up for lost time. On August 31, 2004, at 5 a.m., a Burger King employee in Richmond Hill, Georgia, made a startling discovery. He found a man behind the dumpster of the restaurant. The man was unconscious, sunburned, and naked. It appeared that the man must have been there for a while, since he also had a lot of ant bites on his body. The Burger King employee called emergency services, and he was taken to Candler Hospital in Savannah. He had no identity document on him, so he was recorded in the hospital records as Burger King Doe. It would be 2 weeks before the man became conscious. He revealed that he believed his name is Benjaman with 2 A's. He decided on the last name Kyle, so that his initials could be the same as Burger King where he was found. Benjaman was transferred to Memorial Health University Medical Center. They noticed that he had cataracts in both his eyes. A charity was kind enough to pay for his operation to get it removed. Finally, 9 months after he was found, he could see himself in a mirror. Benjaman was surprised to see that he was 20 years older than he believed he was. The next few years, Benjaman spent time in shelters and care centers. In 2007, he was diagnosed with dissociative amnesia. Benjaman also spent some time being homeless. It was hard finding a job since he couldn't remember his social security number. There were some people that tried to help him remember things from his past so that he could find his family. They looked through missing person databases, but he wasn't in there. What did help though was that he started to remember certain things. He remembered that he was born 10 years before Michael Jackson. The part of his social security number he could later remember was consistent with numbers assigned in Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, and Indiana. In 2015, with advances in DNA technology, his sample was taken so it could be entered into a database. Parabon Nanolabs, led by C.C. Moore, led the way in the search for his real identity. Initial results that came back showed that his last name is most likely Powell, and that he is a descendant of a 19th century man named Abraham Lovely Powell. On September 16, 2015, he announced that his real identity has been found. He now knew his real name and close family members. In 2016, he said that his real name is William Burgess Powell. He was born on August 29, 1948, in Lafayette, Indiana. So he remembered correctly that he was born 10 years before Michael Jackson. In 1976, he cut ties with his family and moved to Boulder, Colorado. It's still not really known what happened to him that led to him being found. A lot of people have asked me to do a case from South Africa, since that is where I'm from, so I finally decided to do one. This case is actually one from my hometown. The hospital I'll mention has a Dutch name, so I'll pronounce it the way we do here, but I'll add a spelling of it so that everyone can understand. Zephany Nurse was born 28 April 1997 in Groote Schuur Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa. Her mother Celeste saw a nurse comforting Zephany next to her bed before she fell asleep. When she woke up, a nurse was frantically asking her where Zephany was. It was then that Celeste realized Zephany was taken. Celeste initially believed it was a sick joke, but as time passed, it became clear that their daughter was abducted. Each year on 28 April, the family would celebrate Zephany's birthday. They also did a lot of interviews to keep the search for her in the media. In July 2009, the family received a call where a woman whispered, "I know about your daughter." The woman then asked for 500,000 South African rand, which is about $70,000 US. When they went to the spot where the drop-off was supposed to take place, no one arrived to collect the money. The call was later traced to Glenda Dubal, who was a neighbor of Celeste Nurse. Glenda was charged with extortion. The nurses also had a second daughter named Cassidy Nurse. She started at a new school in 2015. There she met a girl 4 years older than her that looked very similar to her. Cassidy told her father, Mornay Nurse, about it, and he arranged to meet this girl named Michelle Solomon. When Mornay saw Michelle Solomon, he also saw the uncanny resemblance, and he started to believe that she might be Zephany. DNA tests were done, and it was confirmed that Michelle Solomon is indeed missing Zephany Nurse. In August 2016, the woman who took Zephany, Lavona Solomon, and raised her was sentenced to 10 years in prison. It's believed that she concealed the miscarriage and infected the remainder of her pregnancy before stealing Zephany Nurse, bringing her home, and pretending she had given birth to the baby herself.
It was a big story at the time, and let's get some more on that one with ETV News anchor Annika Larsen. She joins us from Cape Town this evening. Annika, very good evening. So for anybody who might have forgotten, just a very quick history of the girl we knew as Zephany Nurse, who's now Michelle Solomon.
That's right. Hello, colleague. Well, you know, it was such a big story at the time because it was so remarkable and it could have come out of a Hollywood blockbuster. But this newborn baby snatched out of her mother's arms from the Groote Schuur Hospital in 1997 as a newborn baby. Her mother was recovering, Celeste, from a cesarean or C-section, and she'd been on pethidine. And there was a lady who had seemingly to her being a nurse who had taken the baby from her arms, and that woman, Lavona Solomons, ended up bringing up Zephany Nurse in a very happy, secure and stable, seemingly good childhood. And it turned out years later, I think Zephany Nurse, or Michelle Solomon as she's now wants to be called, was 17 at the time when she struck up a friendship with a young girl who seemed to have something familiar about her. They certainly looked very similar.